Kinley, today's your first meeting with us. I know you've been watching the videos. I am Dina Reed. I'm the 4-H agent in Meade County, so we're very excited that you're with us today. And have you been able to work on your project any? We watch it with the videos? You have? Oh, good. Oh, look at you. Got your body done and everything. Awesome. All right, Miss Addie, what about you? Did you get your body done?
I got the body done. I was scared to do the wings.
You were scared? Why were you scared to do the wings?
I didn't want to mess it up.
You're not going to mess it up. You know what? There are no mistakes in cross stitch. You know why?
Why?
You can cut the thread and pull it out and start over. Easy. Hi, Dana. All right, guys. So what we're going to do today, so I did my wings last night, but what we're going to work on today, since you guys know how to do the basic cross stitch, today we're going to work on the outline or the back stitch for your body, since everybody has their body done. Okay. So last week, I'm going to mute all of you all because last week there was a lot of feedback coming. So does everybody know how to unmute their mic if they need to, if they have a question for me? Everybody know how to do that? Okay. All right. So that way, if you have a question, just unmute and ask your question. All righty. Okay. So what you're going to need today, and I'm going to adjust my camera here down to our workspace. Everybody has their workspace and everybody has clean hands. We talked about that last week, having clean space, clean hands. I am probably going to have to move my camera in just a second, like I did last week, so you guys can see it the way that I'm seeing it. But so today you are going to need your hoops, both pieces of your hoops. You're going to need your dragonfly fabric. You're going to need your needle, and go ahead and pre-thread that with the same color that you used to create your body. You are going to need your dragonfly pattern, some scissors, and you're going to need your beginning creative stitchery page or publication. And in that, we are going to be looking at page 5. Okay, page 5. So while you gather all your supplies, I'm going to flip my camera around and we will get started with today. You guys know I got to adjust this cord and let's see. If I work here, you guys can see that, right? You can see okay, right, like that? Okay. So we have our fabric, our needles. Gonna put our hoop on in just a second. All right, friends. So if we look at our dragon stitch pattern, up here, I'm gonna fold my paper in half just because it's easier to handle. So up here at the top, we have instructions for doing our back stitch, French knot, and cross stitch, okay? So we have talked about cross stitch. So this week we're going to talk about back stitch. So if you look at your pattern, and again, we're going to focus just on the body today. On our pattern, the outline of the body are the larger dashes that are in our key at the top of the page. Oh, we'll give Addie a second. She disappeared.
Emily, did your mom pick up your red work from the office? I set it out there for her. Okay, I was just making sure.
All right, Addie, you ready to go move forward? We were waiting on you. Okay. All right, now we lost Emily, but we'll move forward without her. Okay. So today we're going to focus on the outline of the body. And at the top, under back stitch, that's what we're going to use for the outline. The second entry where it says 702 Kelly Green, that is the long dashes, which shows us that that is the back stitch pattern to go around the body. Everybody see that? Now, obviously, you're going to have a different color, so you're going to use whatever color you used for your body. Everybody has their needle. Thumbs up if you have your needle embroidered or cloth. Nice. Very nice, Kinley. I think Addie's still working on hers. It's a little hard. I don't know what I think about these needles. I think I prefer the more traditional needle with the regular eye. What do you think, Kinley? Have you done embroidery before? Red work? Done red work? Yeah. Okay, so in our Creative Stitchery publication on page number 5, it talks specifically right here about back stitches. Okay, so we've learned the cross stitch, and on page 5 under stitches it starts talking about running stitches, which if you look at this picture here, you'll notice running stitches are very similar to a back stitch, except that there's a little space between each stitch. Does everybody see that? So they look like little dashes. Whereas a back stitch, which is what we're going to do, is essentially a running stitch where the edges of the floss touch each other, okay? You also look at this picture, you'll notice that a back stitch, you stitch backwards, okay? So if we were to, I'm trying to mark here, just like with our cross stitch where we had the ABCD pattern, if you look here, let me grab my pencil. When we're doing the back stitch, we're going to come up from the back of our fabric here at point A. Then we're going to go to point B and go back down through the fabric and then come up at point C, which is essentially our new point A, okay? So we are going to be going from we're going to go from this point to make our stitch. So that's going to make our stitch. And then we'll come back up from the back on C, which then turns into our A point, and stitch backwards again. Does that make sense? Kinley, have you done this type of stitch with red work? Did you guys do a back stitch with red work? Yes, okay. All right, where's my needle? Here it is. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, if you haven't already, is put your hoop on. And again, we are working, you guys can try to get your whole body. Since we're doing the outline, we don't really want to have to stop doing our outline to move our hoop. So if you can get the entire body inside your hoop, that would be wonderful. But if you can't, that's fine too, because we can stop and change course if we need to. Make sure our fabric is on there nice and tight. And then again, you need to pull up on the back. These are all things we've done. Do you guys realize today's meeting, we're halfway through our meetings? That makes me a little sad, but it shows that we're making progress, so that's good. And then like what I told you guys last week, I always go back and just push my my top hoop down just a little bit. Gives you a little bit more fabric on the top to work with. Okay. So hopefully you're able to get your body in the middle. So thumbs up if when you're ready to go for me. Let me know you're ready. Okay. Addie's ready. Awesome. Everybody's ready. Okay. Now, what you have to do is decide where you want to start your back stitch. I highly suggest that if you look here on your outline of your dragonfly, you have the head, and then it kind of divots in a little bit right there on both sides, and then you have your body. So what I would suggest that we do is start in the divot as our starting point. That way it's hidden a little bit versus like starting down here where it's kind of out in the wide open. Okay. So what we're going to do, you've got your floss on your needle. And again, on the back stitch, we are coming up on the back. However, you guys need to hold your fabric up there. So we have this little crook, like where the head meets the body on this line. So that particular point, that point where the body and the head intersect, that is actually going to be our point B. Okay, so if you look at the diagram in your publication, point B is where we go back down through the fabric. When you're making your back stitches, it's very important that you keep your stitches the same length. That way it's uniform and it helps give that idea of that solid line. You do not want, I'll practice down here. You do not want your back stitches to be this long. Can you guys see this? Okay, that is way too long for a back stitch. That's like 3 cross stitch lengths, okay? Since we're doing a cross stitch, you really want your back stitches to be about the same length as one of your cross stitches. So everybody practice that down here in your little empty area. See if you can, without having the X's, if you can make one little stitch about the height of your cross stitch. Just down here in your blank area. Ooh, Addie, the back of your stitches look really good on your body. Nice and clean. Very good. Okay, was everybody able to do that one little practice stitch? Okay. So leaving that stitch there, we're going to pull these out. They're not going to stay there, obviously. But, so now we've basically done one back stitch, okay? So we came up at A, we went down at B. So this next time we're going to come up at C, making sure that the next stitch is the same length as the stitch you just made, okay? So try that. And you want to make sure that your stitches touch. So, oops, that's a mess. I'll pull that out. Where you came out here, you're going to go back down in that same space. And hopefully they will be connected. Okay? And it doesn't look like it on camera, but I promise my stitches are touching. When you get your 2 stitches done, hold it up to your camera. Let me see it. Oh, you've already started. Okay, good deal. Nice job, Kinley. Very good. How you doing, Addie? Not good? All right, I'm gonna unmute you and you can tell me what's going on. Oops. What's your struggle? Tell me.
I left this thread like that, and then this one got tangled.
Oh, you got a tangle. Okay. Well, you can either try and get your knot out or just cut your thread and get a new piece of thread to start with. Because I have a big knot on the back of mine too. See where I wasn't paying
Got
attention?
it.
Yeah. Oh, you got it out? Good deal.
I split my thread. Was I supposed to?
You split it into three. We usually do, Kinley. Yeah, you're supposed to do that. You're good.
Yes. Oh, we didn't cover that. Thanks, Emily. All right. So as you can see on my practice stitches, I was not paying attention and I stitched down the tail. So like Addie, I have a big old knot, which just means I'm going to snip it out and then we'll start over because it's just thread. And we have tons of it. So luckily I have my other pieces. My needle broke. Well, that's not going to work. Hang on, I'm sorry. I got to grab my other needle. It broke. I'm 0 for 1 today. Okay, let's try this again. Addie, how are you coming on those 2 little practice stitches? Did you get them? Oh, hang on. You're muted. Can you unmute? Unmute yourself.
I had to untangle my thread.
Oh, you're still taking your knot out?
I cut it.
Okay. Well, just cut your thread and start with a new piece, like I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. All right. Did you get it unknotted, Addie? Are we ready to move to the next step?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna mute you again.
Okay.
All right. All right, so we're actually, let's just go ahead and start on the head, outlining the head. So you have your floss and you know, you have your long piece and you have your little tail, okay? So we're gonna start we're not going to start right where the head meets the tail because that's where we're going to stitch back to. So we're actually going to come up the line just a little. Got to find your happy spot there. So you're going to come up at A. So Addie, watch so you can see what to do, okay? So you come up at A, and I'm not right quite there. And you want to make sure on the back that you hold your tail, just like you did on your cross stitches. And so we started above where we want to be. So now we're going to back stitch to that one spot where the neck and the body intersect. Okay? That's why it's called back stitch, because we're working from front to back. Because the direction of our stitches is going to go this way. Okay? So when you do that stitch, then you're going to start your next stitch a little bit ahead of where your original stitch is. And you also need to try to catch your thread on the back while you're working. And when you do your second stitch, you're going to come down at point B in almost the same exact hole that your original stitch is, because we want them to touch. Oops, not. And that's just the pattern that you're going to use all the way around. Okay, can you see this? Oops. Well, hang on, I have a big knot. Okay. And you're just going to keep doing those stitches, that A, B, C back stitch pattern on the line to go around the head, making sure that you try your best to keep all those stitches the same length. All right, so we're gonna keep working and at least do the whole, see if you can get around the whole head, and then we'll compare notes, okay? And I'm gonna unmute everybody if you have a question or if you just want to chat. Oops. No, a long time, well, I guess some people still do it. They used to be called quilting bees. Have you guys ever heard of quilting bees? When ladies would get together and work on quilts together. They all typically worked on the same quilt, and they would sit around in a circle and quilt and drink tea. And I know Emily had her tea/coffee mug earlier. Maybe we should all fix a little glass of iced tea and we can do online.
I actually do have tea. It says tea.
I know, I saw it on your cup earlier. It said tea. Did it thunderstorm at your all's houses last night? It was really bad here.
I'm surprised it didn't flood.
Yes. We have my daughters each have a flower planter on the back porch that have succulents in them.
Oh,
And the bowls they
goodness.
put them in do not have drainage holes. So now they're going to have to replant them because the bowl filled up with water and now the plants have all shifted. So they're going to have to start all over again. How's everybody coming along? So Addie, tell me why you were afraid to start your wings. Unmute yourself so we can hear you.
I was afraid that I was gonna mess them up because it looks really complicated to me.
All right. So how can I help you overcome that so you can work on your wings this week? Poked my finger. So you remember when we worked on the head because there was two columns
Yeah.
of stitches together? We worked left to right. Remember, we started on this side and worked this way. So that's what you're going to do with your wings. And you're just going to do one column at a time. That's all you can do. Just take it piece by piece.
Okay.
And once you get your rhythm down, it won't seem like so much. I'm not doing the greatest job of keeping my stitches the same length, but I am looking through a camera tripod, so that makes it a little harder. So the reason we do a back stitch outline is just to help to define this space a little bit better. Adds another layer, another dimension to help the eye see the shape that you're trying to create with your X's. So that's why it's important to keep your stitches uniform so that your outline doesn't really, distract people from looking at your piece. You want them to see the X's more than you want them to see the outline. So how are you coming along, Addie, with your outline there?
Good.
Kinley, you were doing a pretty good job earlier from what you showed me. There you go, nice. Are you already working on your body? Look like you're working on your body, okay.
Kinley's quick.
Yeah. Well, and these are just the basic stitches. So next week, when we meet, we will be learning how to do a French knot. So we'll work on the antenna together and we'll do a French knot. So your homework for the week will be to finish the cross stitching on your wings and to do the outline on your wings. So that way we get our body done today. And that way next week we can focus on doing the antenna and learning how to do a French knot. And then of course we'll have to go back, and our last will be to work on the border. So, and then next week we'll start talking about our other pattern that we have, the little animal pattern. So Kinley, which animal did you get in your kit?
The cat.
The cat. Okay, good deal. Addie, how you coming along? Let me see your outline. Let me pin your video. Hang on, I'm gonna pin you so I can.
I'm at the very end of the head.
You're what, honey?
At the very end of the head that connects to the body.
Okay, are you starting or you made it all the way around the head?
I've made it all the way around the head.
Oh, okay, good, good. Oh, where's my needle? Oh, there it is. Okay. So Addie, are you at work with your mom today?
My Nana's house.
You're at your Nana's house?
No, I'm here right now, but
Oh, okay.
We do. Yes, sir.
Is your mom's work in Meade County or Hardin County?
it's right across from the
Let me take down some information.
Meade County Water place.
Okay.
Will it be for residents or will it be for commercial?
I just realized I did not start the recording of today's meeting, but luckily it started itself, so that's good.
I think it was recording when I first got on with you because it had the little red
Yeah,
dot.
I think I set it up to automatically start recording, so for instances when I forget, I can always go back and edit out the beginnings. Did you guys have any trouble starting a new piece of floss if you needed to when you were doing your cross stitching? No? Good, good. Oops, not. Okay, everybody take a break and hold your piece up to your camera so we can all see where everybody has gotten to. Nice. Hold it pretty close. Oh, good job. Nice. Nice job. Emily's working on her wings. Fantastic. All right, guys, do you have any questions about back stitching? Looks like you've gotten the concept down pretty well. No? Okay. So what we're going to do, we're not going to we're not going to wait for a whole, ooh, Emily just stabbed her finger. I stabbed, look, I got a big cut on my finger from earlier. So like I said, what your homework is for next week, I want you to finish outlining your body and do the cross stitch on your wings and then outline your wings. And then next week, when we meet up, we will work on our antenna. We will learn how to do a French knot. And then we will start on the little triangle border section. So, does anybody have any questions? No? No? All right, I'm going to pin each of your videos so that I can get a nice, good recording. I'm going to pin you. And all right, so Addie, hold yours up to the video so we can see. Hold it to your camera and make a little noise so it picks your recording up. Nice. All right, thank you. You can put it down. All right. Kinley, hold yours up and make some noise so the camera picks you out, or unmute so it'll pick you up. There we go. Looks good. Very nice. Thank you. And then that leaves Miss Emily.
Okay. If you can window.
There you go. So if you guys look at Miss Emily's hoop there, she's working on her wing. And she is working, are you guys looking? Addie, look up. So Emily is doing her cross stitch on her wings in rows. So she's going left to right in rows, which is fine. When I did mine, I did left to right in columns, so up and down. So it's whatever you want to
Way and then weaving it back, and so it goes the same way.
Yeah, as long as you have, as long as you continue the same cross stitch pattern. So if your left to right diagonal is on the bottom and your right to left diagonal is on the top, that's what every single one of your cross stitches should look like, okay? So don't do one like this and then do one like that and switch them back and forth. They need to stay the same, whichever direction you decide to go. Okay, guys? All right, so just think about your homework. If we don't have any more questions, then we're going to wrap up the call today. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or Miss Emily if you guys need help, okay? All right, bye. We're going to wave bye from down here. Bye.